don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine. In a world so full of pain, can you make it go away? It used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone like you, someone to show the way. But now I know you're the answer to my prayer. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I'm sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now. Everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom. Used to be afraid of everything, but now there's no more fear. Yeah, I used to let nobody in and hide my face with tears. Always thought of you as someone who can love someone like me, but I was wrong, baby. Now I believe. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah.
Hey, 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 hey. Hello, beautiful people. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Welcome to the Danea Show. I am Danielle Danea, aka Danea, and I've got a lot to say. So let's get into it. Marc Lamont lashes out at Piers Morgan for challenging a fellow panelist. Let's talk about it. So, if you guys don't know who Piers Morgan is a political commentator. He's based in the UK, I believe. And yeah, he's very known, very popular, especially on YouTube. And Marc Lamont is also somebody who's in media spaces and speaks heavily about things that are happening in politics, things that are happening in the world. Piers Morgan is a white, older man, and Marc Lamont Hill is a black, I would say, middle-aged man. Right? So, a few days ago, Marc Lamont Hill is on the Piers Morgan show. Piers Morgan Uncensored is what it's called. And it's Piers Morgan, Marc Lamont Hill, and also Myron from Fresh and Fit. You guys saw me on his show, Fresh and Fit. Myron's one half of the Fresh and Fit show. Myron Gaines, and another political commentator called, let me see, her name is Lily Gaddis. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Lily Gaddis. And then there was another white woman. Lily Gaddis is white. And then another white woman. I couldn't find her name. But it was all of them on this panel. And Myron is Sudanese, I believe. Right? So they're all on this panel. And the conversation is about the whole instance with Shiloh Hendricks. If you guys hadn't seen that story, it was a middle-aged white woman calling a little 5-year-old boy the N-word, a mentally challenged little boy at that, the N-word. And also the story of Carmelo Anthony, who is a black 17-year-old boy who stabbed to death a fellow teammate or classmate that was on a track meet, and stabbed him to death. And both of them raised $600K and actually more on a fundraising page. So the conversation was about, racism and how, things are so bad right now, and how, people feel like they can get away with saying certain things, right? So yeah, as the conversation went on, this woman, Lily Gaddis, made it very clear that she is a racist. Right? She said it with her whole chest. And initially, she was like, oh, if that's what you want to call me, you can call me that. But eventually, she was like, yes, I am a racist. I use the N-word, And Piers Morgan straight out called her a disgusting human being. He was not with her at all. He was disgusted by her behavior. He said so repeatedly. And then toward the end, well, it really actually was the end. I watched the full clip, guys. But a small clip was going around of Piers Morgan challenging her to say the N-word, that she uses all the time. Why don't you say it on the show? That's what he does. He challenges her to say it on the panel. And Marc Lamont Hill goes off. He goes off. He's like, no. You're not going to give her permission to call me the N-word, because when she uses that N-word, she's using it towards me. I'm the only black man here. Technically, Myron is also black, but he doesn't see him as black because he's from Sudan, I guess, and he calls him Uncle Tom, right? So yeah, he was like, if you can't give her permission to call me some derogatory name. How dare you? And loses it. When I mean loses it, he is upset. He's moving up and down. He's raising his voice. He is upset. And Piers immediately is like, oh, I get where you're coming from. And that was not my intent for her to be disrespectful, and immediately shut down the show after. I'm thinking this happened like maybe at the beginning of this whole panel, the whole term of the show, length of the show, pardon me. But this happened right at the end, and then Piers immediately cuts it right after he apologizes to Marc Lamont Hill. And I just wanted to talk about it because there were so many different perspectives. And one of them was that I kind of agreed with. I thought that, Marc Lamont Hill lost it. That's why I labeled the thumbnail, Calm Your ASS Down. Because even though I get where your anger is coming from, when you lose control like that, it shows that you have a lack of self-control. And watching the video, you saw this Lily Gaddis woman and Myron laughing at him because you literally look like a joke. You look like you don't have any self-control. You let your emotions take over, and it's ridiculous. And as an adult, you gotta have your emotions under control. You do. And they also said that Piers was trying to put her in a corner. This woman that says she's a racist. He wanted her to say it out loud. If she's so bold, why not say it on the camera, right? And instead of Marc Lamont Hill allowing Piers to get Lily caught up in his trap, so to speak, he lost it. And it's like they wanted her to say the N-word so they could hate her more, right? And I thought about that, and I was like, that's an interesting take. But then my ex-boyfriend said something. He was like, you know what? I would have been upset too. You know, because how dare you give permission for her to call me that name? Like the same way like Marc Lamont Hill was feeling. Like, how dare you give someone else permission, someone not the same race as me, not me, permission to say something so ugly to me? Now, he said it's one thing to say, if it was Marc Lamont Hill that said, you know, call me the N-word, because it's him saying it. It's Marc Lamont Hill, saying it directly to her. But Piers saying it, it's a whole different ball game. It's like, yeah, go ahead and disrespect him. I'm not gonna ask his permission. I'm not gonna, you know, acknowledge that this is crazy. I'm just trying to prove my point, because I think he was trying to prove a point. Like, I think Piers Morgan was trying to see if she was actually as bold as she was, as racist as she was, and that she'd be bold enough to say it on a big old platform like the Piers Morgan Uncensored show, right? But you don't do it at the expense of Marc Lamont Hill. You don't do that. Again, it's not your position to do that. As a white man, as any man. That's his decision. That's Marc Lamont Hill's decision. If he wants her to say that word to her and he wants to challenge her to see if she's actually going to say it, that's his right. That's his decision. So when he said that, I was just like, oh, that's interesting. But initially I didn't get it. But when he broke it down, it's so funny. It's so funny how you understand things more clearly when they make it about you. Sometimes some people don't see it when it comes to them because they don't like to take accountability and stuff like that. But I'm very open-minded, and this made a lot of sense to me when he said, my ex said, he was like, what if somebody else gave permission to slap you, Danielle? What if somebody else said, go ahead, slap Danielle. Go ahead, go do it. I would have been like, too, what the heck? How dare you? Whether I believe they're gonna do it or not, the fact that you're encouraging it to happen is crazy. And I'm over here like, what? I ain't do nothing to this person. Or even if I did, what? How dare you say that? Now, if I tell her to slap me in the face, like, come on, hit me, and poke and try to get her. Or hit her or him. I'm assuming it's a woman. But nobody would encourage a man to hit me. But anyway, I would encourage them to hit me. But it's me. It's me. The dare's on me. If she hits me, I can take full accountability. You can't take like you encouraged her to hit me, and now she hits me. It's like, dang, now I gotta be mad at you and her. Cause what the heck? So yeah, I completely understood it when he broke it down like that. Completely understand from that perspective. But yeah, man, Marc Lamont Hill got to get his emotions under control. He's had multiple instances where he has been riled up. And I really believe that's why Piers Morgan keeps bringing him back, because Marc Lamont Hill has been on Piers Morgan Uncensored many times. And it's like, we can't keep bringing back. It's like he's trying to get this depiction of what black people represent. And even though Marc Lamont Hill is very smart, I think he is very intelligent. That one factor of him not having his emotions under control diminishes how educated he is, and how smart he is, how accomplished he is, and all that good stuff. Because again, if you don't have self-control, you dang near don't have anything. It's going to be a tough life for you. It's going to be a tough life for you. Everything you're going to get bent out of shape about. And everybody else is going to control you. So, yeah, this can't happen. That behavior needs to be condemned. Right? But I want to also talk about what was the points that were made during this whole segment. Because again, this was just a small piece a larger conversation about Shiloh Hendricks using the N-word more specifically. Again, I thought it was very interesting. It's very interesting that everybody's so fixated on the Shiloh Hendricks case, and the fact that the other case with Carmelo Anthony was specifically mentioned. Piers mentioned both stories happening at the beginning of his show, and the only one that was talked about at length was the Shiloh Hendricks story. And the fact that, Marc Lamont Hill made the point that when it was briefly mentioned about the other case, the $600K, what was brought up was not the case specifically, was the $600K that was raised on both ends. And mind you, the $600K was raised on a fundraising page that both of them were using, or they were using the same one. It was from the same company, right? Anyway, Marc Lamont Hill made the point that, it's one thing to raise money for a fair trial, which he was referring to the Carmelo Anthony case, making sure, when he goes to trial for murder, he's charged fairly, not because, he gets a harsher sentence because he's black or whatever. Cool. And then the Shiloh Hendricks, no, she got raised money because, a bunch of people were comfortable or liked that she called a little child the N-word. It's completely different, and I was just like, we don't know why people donated. We don't know. Like, you can't make that generalization. We don't know why people donated to these two people. Maybe people donated to Carmelo Anthony because they really believe he didn't do anything wrong. His parents don't believe he did anything wrong. They have statements saying he's not guilty, literally. Just people that really believe black people can do no wrong. So that's why they were donating to him. It had nothing to do with a fair trial. It's, why people kill black people every day? So he was just getting even in the score. That's what a lot of people probably thought when they were donating. But we never want to put that out there. It's no, we only do good. We don't have any bad motives as to why we give our money. And it's just like, no, you can't say that. And to say that only racist people gave the money to Shiloh Hendricks, people, I know it's hard to believe, but people might have not seen the video, this viral video of her calling this little black boy the N-word. Maybe they just donated because literally the title was not the title of her fundraising page wasn't I called a little boy the N-word, give me money. It was help protect my family. Literally, it said help protect my family. And they gave a brief description of what happened on the playground, but never said that she called that little kid the N-word. So people are just donating because she thinks she needs protection for her family. They're doing what they think is good. And a lot of people donate, to feel like a lot of people have a lot of demons and move crazy. So they just give money out to people because they feel it makes them feel good about their life. It makes them feel like they're contributing to the world in a positive way. People just throw away their money all the time, left and right. So to just throw out that generalization that everybody that donated to Shiloh Hendricks is a racist is very extreme, very emotional response on Marc Lamont Hill's take. It was very extreme, and we gotta stop, just always thinking negative about things and never think it's one thing to say this might be the case and this might be the case, but again, to make it a whole generalization and not be open to the opportunity or open to the idea that maybe multiple things can be true at once. Again, I'm a firm believer that 2 things can be true at once, 3 things can be true at once. When you're absolutist in every single thing, it makes you look freaking crazy. It does. It really does. On issues like this. Because again, we're not in everybody's mind, or especially we're not in the minds of everybody that donated. So you don't know that. You don't know what you're saying to be true 100%. And this woman, Lily Gaddis, I had to give it to her because she was ballsy. She said she was a straight up racist. She doesn't like to hang out with blacks because of the crime and stuff she's seeing around black neighborhoods. A lot of people don't want to live in black neighborhoods. I don't want to live in black neighborhoods. I get that. But to, again, make it a whole, not all black people are bad to live around. I know that. Most people know that. But again, even when it's a majority, they just think it's all. And even if it was a small group of people, I really believe with this woman, it would have just taken her to see one neighborhood with a bunch of ghetto people standing outside of liquor stores with their pants sagging, all that, for her to have this belief of that all black people are ghetto and dangerous and all this other stuff. Because again, I don't know her background, but a lot of the racist people out here are racist from the core. Like, it's learned, but it's learned super early in life. Or again, I think they're almost born with this hatred. Again, I mentioned a show like where they're born with the capacity and like the mindset that they run the world. I think racism could be thrown in there as well. I don't know for sure, but it's history. Is very telling. Our history is very telling. So yeah, I think that, a lot of things she was saying is true. Like, a lot of the crime, black people make up the least amount of the world, this country, but commit the most crime. That's absolutely true. And you can hate hearing facts, but that is true. But again, to just say I use the N-word and I don't feel any guilt about it, and it's like, oh yeah, you're one of those people. You're one of those people. Ugh. Myron, I'm trying to think. Myron made he made a point of saying that, also that the crime rates are high and that the hypocrisy on the black side is that, white people, can't get away with saying the N-word and all this other stuff, but we get away saying the N-word. I am a full believer in that too. I'm like, you can't say that one group of people can say one word and the other can't. I've mentioned that a bunch of times on my podcast. It's very hypocritical, absolutely. And then not be outraged about a black man killing a white man versus a woman using a racial slur. Again, hypocritical, 100%. And it's very interesting, listening to these podcasts, because again, a lot of these people are people. Piers Morgan brings on people that people don't like. They really don't like them, right? Like Candace Owens and other people. But when they break down their points, you get an understanding of things that you probably would not have had an understanding of if you just watched little clips of things they said on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. And even though people hate Myron, it's just like, yeah, he says some extreme things, but for the majority, he's right. He's right. And Marc Lamont Mill, to call him Uncle Tom, it's so funny. We talk about this. People want to be so mad about hate and other races hating us, but we hate ourselves. You're literally calling him Uncle Tom. Like, that is not a compliment in any way, shape, or form. That is negative, whether you believe it or not. Like, to just spew that out and just be rude and all that. It's just like, you can disagree with somebody and not have to call them derogatory names. Not have to call them an Uncle Tom, a sellout. What is it? Like I forget what the name is called. What they called? What's his name? I'm drawing a blank here. In the movie Django, Samuel L. Jackson played like this slave who was doing everything the master said. But anyway, referring to people like that who may have a different opinion than you or have the same opinion as a racist woman, he's not agreeing with. Myron straight up said like it was not okay for that white woman to call that little boy the N-word. It wasn't okay. But he's looking at the bigger picture. It's like, it's not okay to do this, and this. And again, it's either we condemn it all or shut up. And the question was also asked, like, how do you feel, Myron, about her calling little boy the N-word? Piers, I think, asked that. And Myron said, my feelings are irrelevant. That's the problem. People move based off of how they feel too much. And then we have problems like this. We can judge and be like, oh, how dare you, say something. Again, it's Myron's like the point, kind of like, it's not illegal to call somebody the N-word, but it is illegal to commit murder. And we are so fixated on her calling this little boy, the white woman calling the little boy the N-word, but not mad at a black boy committing an actual crime. And then the lines got blurred when we were talking about what's hate speech versus freedom of speech. That's a whole slippery slope in itself. But I think when you police, like the woman Lily Gaddis was making the point, she said, I just want us all be able to say what we want to say and not be condemned for it. If this is really a free country, we should be able to say what the heck we want to say. Yes, you can also be punched in your mouth for somebody calling you the N-word. As a grown adult, if someone calls you the N-word, you could punch them in the face. But they're allowed to say it. I'm almost like that too. If it's not against the law to say the N-word, who am I to be like, oh, you can't say that? You can call me that, but if I punch you in the face, that got to be cool too. I think that they also brought on Piers Morgan also brought up the I guess the owner or the head of the company for the fundraising page that these both people raised money up on the Carmelo Anthony and Shiloh Hendricks. He joined briefly, and Piers Morgan almost got him with the freedom of speech thing. He was adamant about, we allow people on our platform to say what they want, she didn't he made the point, like he didn't know she was a racist. All he saw was the title of the fundraising, the headline of the fundraising page on Shiloh Hendricks' page that said, help my family, like we all saw, right? But then Piers Morgan called out him turning off the comments under the fundraising page. I guess you can comment under the post. And initially he was like he'd been caught up. He didn't know what to say. But then I learned later that he said he turned off the comments because people were like going back and forth in the comments trying to, get a movement together to create like another page, being for something and against something else. And cause more drama, and cause misleading information be out there, cause uproar and a bigger problem, and that's why he turned the comments off. Something along those lines. So yeah, that's understandable if he did that, but I think it was more so he saw the backlash, he saw it, and just turned the comments off. And Piers Morgan was like, well, why didn't you just delete the post? If that's the case, if all this hate was being in the comments, or you just didn't like, the way people were speaking in the comments, why didn't you just take down the post? And he went kind of back to the freedom of speech thing. But you can't blame this man for, Piers Morgan tried to get him in the beginning. I'm trying to blame this man for, this woman, putting up this fundraising page like you're promoting racism, and that's not at all the case. He can't help the manager. He can't help who posts an account on his platform. Nobody can. So to hold him to that higher standard is just disingenuous and ridiculous, Piers. And I think he knew that. But again, it's all content. I think he was trying to make a point, get people going as well. So yeah, you can't ever blame somebody who has a platform, for allowing somebody to post something. Now, if the N word was in the post and on the fundraising page, that's a whole different story, right? He would have seen it, he would have deleted it. But again, it was help protect my family, such and such happened on the playground. I defended myself, that's it. The N word was never used. So how would he know she was a racist? Oh, he's supposed to, pay attention to things that happen in social media. He's supposed to put two and two together. Oh, this woman is the same woman who made this page and deleted. No, you're putting unrealistic expectations on somebody who's running a big business. Even if it's a small business, he's busy, right? So that was disingenuous as well. Yeah, what else was talked about? So much was talked about on the show. The other woman that I couldn't find her name. Not the not the Lily Hendricks, sorry. What was her name? Lily Gaddis. Not her, but another white woman was up there, and she was kind of just neutral in the situation. But then she made a statement like, I wish we could all just, basically she was like, I wish we just all get along and be one big happy family and not make things about race. But it's just like, no, we got to make this about race because it is. Race is the determining factor when something is okay versus when it's not. Marc Lamont Hill made that clear on Piers' Morgan show, comparing, again, the Carmelo Anthony case fundraising with the Shiloh Hendricks fundraising. So we got to talk about it. Yes, I hear you. I would love that too, where we're not talking about white versus black versus Asian versus Latino. But I live in reality like everybody else, and reality is it's still an issue. It's still going to be a topic. Because too many people, like I said, are talking about it. Too many people are allowing it to dictate how they believe, how they move. And until that day happens, when people put their feelings aside, put their biases aside, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't even think it's going to happen in my lifetime. Maybe way later, but not now. So to just bring that up, like I wish, it's just wishful thinking. That's all it is. It's a wish. Right? But let's have a real conversation about what's happening right now, because we can talk about what we want in the future, but and this is a show happening right now about what's happening right now. So yeah, there's a lot of, believe it or not, guys, there's a lot of people who feel like Lily Gaddis, this woman Lily Gaddis. But the thing is, especially me being in Los Angeles, again, you guys know, I live here now, they won't be as bold about it. They'll kiki in your face, give you hugs, kiss you on the cheek, marry you even. I mentioned the definition, or the example of Halle Berry all the time. She was married to a white man and then had him call her the N-word. That is crazy to think about. Like, you're willing to, and it's not just impregnating a black woman, because white men used to do that all the time back in slave days. It's about committing to that woman, loving on that woman, and then turn around saying this N-word to their friends. That is scary. That is so scary. But if they're upfront about it, it's like, you know what you're getting into. You know, they said it, and then you continue to go about your way. But when it's hidden, when it's disguised, when it's like they're your friend, that's a different type of evil, in my belief. So again, a lot of white people feel this way. They do. But a lot of them, again, I say feelings are invalid, but their feelings are valid. People like Lily Gaddis, unfortunately, their feelings are valid because black people are doing things that will make people not want to like them. And that was Myron's whole point. Too many of us are doing things that equate for us to be called the N-word. I make it the point all the time. There's niggas and there's black people. But who are white people to be able to tell the difference sometimes? It's until all of us get together And they're like, no, no, no. We're not going to tolerate that. And actually be decent human beings, not rob and loot stores and, commit murder and think we can get away with it. Not use the N-word ourselves. And then, not all of them, but more, I really believe more or most white people are going to not be as vocal about their feelings about racism. I made this point. I don't know if I made it on live, but I speak so much on audio apps versus here. I forget what I talk about on there versus here. But yeah, I made that point. I was just saying that. Dang, I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, until everyone gets on the same page of not being a degenerate.
White people aren't going to be vocal.
White people are not going to be so comfortable blasting out, saying that she's a straight up racist on a Piers Morgan show. They're going to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that, because we'll be so respectable people. It's going to be disrespectful for them to even think to say something like that live. But we're not there. We're not there. And I'm not excusing her behavior, guys. I'm just giving it to you how it is. A lot of us are degenerates. That's something I know I said on an audio app. I was like, it's not black culture. It's degenerate culture. But there's so many black people being degenerates. It's looked at as a black culture. But we gotta rebrand ourselves. It can happen. That's why I'm so passionate about black people and people think I'm hating them, speaking about them so much. It's because I love them so much. I know how capable we are. I know how talented we are. I know how powerful we can be, that I speak about this ad nauseum, because I know we can be powerful. Martin Luther King proved it. Malcolm X proved it. And literally the white man said, no man should have that much power. It was intimidating. But I bet you they respected it, though. They low-key respected that. They did. They feared it. But it was like, dang. It was like they were jealous. They wanted that type of influence. With that much power comes influence. And that is insane. People get so bent out of shape with saying, with what Kanye said about Hitler having so much power, and that we should aspire to be like him. Not aspire to be like him in the way that he killed millions of Jews, obviously, but to have people want to follow you. And like Malcolm X just raises his hand, and everybody stops talking. Or everybody starts walking a certain way. That is insane. That type of power, you could influence so many lives, make so many decisions. But let's do it for good and not murder. Let's have a black person who raised their hand, and immediately somebody who's emotional, somebody like Marc Lamont Hill, becomes quiet. If somebody raised their hand and immediately doesn't want to say the N-word. Someone look at a person and immediately don't want to do a crime, don't want to loot or rob a bank or carry a gun. That'd be great if it was one person that much power, but I want all of us to have that type of power, because then we will be unstoppable in the best way possible. So I went a little long, guys, but I know I specifically labeled this show, mainly speaking about Marc Lamont Hill, but it's so much bigger than him. He's a small example. not a small example, but he's just one example of a black man losing it. Instead of being completely calm, completely composed, and just saying it, like he could have said to Piers straight up, like, no, you can't allow her to call her that, bruh. Piers, I know we're cool, but that's not okay. And then I bet you the conversation would have carried on. But, Piers Morgan shut that down because it's like he knows how sensitive they know how we react. They know how emotional we react, and he saw it there. And he also knows how other people react emotionally to a black man reacting emotionally. So even though he was mad, other people were mad because he was mad as well. It's a rippling effect. And Piers did not want the smoke. He did not want the smoke. He was like, I'm shutting this down. I'm going to apologize, of course, first. And then we're going to shut this down. We shouldn't have people running away like this, like witnessing crazy behavior and being like, oh, yeah, we're done. I don't want this on my show. Cut it out. We should want people like Piers. People in general. It's not because he's a white man. Forget white spaces. On any show, wanting us to stay longer, dialogue longer, pick our brains longer. That shows admiration. And a lot of times shows that they respect your opinion, even if they may disagree. There's so many messages behind what happened. And again, there were so many different perspectives, but no one broke it down. No, not that I saw broke it down in the way that I just said. Marc Lamont Hill's lack of control made the show. It made this show to us, not the show Piers Morgan Uncensored, that when you react emotionally like that, you get shut down. You do. And I was making the point that I would not react emotionally like that because I have reacted emotionally like that in the past. Whew, don't get me started. I have been rah-rah, and I wasn't called the N-word. I just felt like I didn't get my way. But even if the person I am today, even if I was called the N-word, I wouldn't have yelled and stuff because, again, it gets you nowhere. It gets you all riled up, got people like Myron and Lily laughing at you, and now you got people like Piers scared, wanting to end the show. Whereas if you would have been calm, nobody would have had anything to say. It would have just continued and not saying, just brush it off and be nice about it. Be stern, but don't lose your SHIT. Don't lose it. Because then you have fully allowed someone else to take control of you. You are no longer in control of your thoughts, what's coming out of your mouth, and that's dangerous because words are powerful. Words are powerful. Man. I'm going to end with this. I really want to see us thrive and say things that make people, or say when we speak, they become legendary quotes. Like my ex-boyfriend and I, we were talking about the quote, I only debate my equals, everybody else I teach. Saying things like that in a room and people being like, wow. And somebody actually respectable saying it now. It's not nothing when somebody who is not informative or doesn't really educate anybody at all saying a quote like that. But no, somebody that actually is respectable and says it with conviction, and you believe them based off their history, based off their tone, based off who they are as an individual. I want us to get to that point so badly. To teach others, but be able to debate people who are equal to us in a way where we don't lose our ish. That's what I want to see. And you should want to see that as well. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, guys, please like this video. If you like this video, please comment always. I love to hear you guys' opinions. Subscribe if you haven't already. And turn that notification bell on so you don't miss an episode. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Aquel día el instinto nos decía que esa noche juntico no quería, que las ganas bebé nos ganaría, pero no fue así. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos a jugar. Ella sabe que quiero a mi mamacita. Ella también quiere que seamos felices. Ella, la que se apresura a la vueltica. Ella es sin timidez. Como la ven, no le importa dónde y cuándo. Pero nada no he hecho, no soy el que la mando. Nunca lo seré, su carácter no es de niña, que la puede controlar cualquiera. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos. Los 7 días de la semana te doy de mañana, mi consejo sabes que no es, te doy el desquite, que me quites todas esas ganas que te tengo muerto. Todo el mundo sabe que tú y yo somos más que pana.